All right. So after that, we're moving to what you need to get started in your application and every other journey you would want to get into, as long as scholarship is concerned. Please try to mute your mic. Okay, I don't want to mute everybody because definitely you may want to talk at any time. Okay, I think this is the side that is supposed to be taken by Igwe. I don't know. I can't jump it without talking about it. Well, maybe Igwe will highlight when he joins again. Maybe other things. Okay, the first thing you need is you have to create an email address. You have to create an email address. For instance, myself, I was using nasman10 at yahoo.com. That's my initial email address. But when I began this journey, I created another email address, nathanelwogo at yahoo.com. Let it look smart and decent. So you shouldn't use something like maybe for ladies, you may be saying something like chillove at yahoo.com, chillove at gmail.com. Something like that may not work for you because they may see something like that as email from scammers also. So you have to make everything align with your name, especially the way it appears on your CV. Yeah. If it is possible, you may just use your first name alone and number, or maybe your first name and your last name. Then that's for email address. You can use Gmail and you can use Yahoo Mail. Well, I think Gmail is better. For myself, I use Yahoo Mail because I used it when I was applying for my Chinese stuff. China doesn't accept most things from Google. So most times when you send email to China using Google Gmail, it may not be delivered. And when they send their own to Gmail here, it may not be delivered. So, but Yahoo Mail goes more. So it's something that is more of global than Gmail. So you have to choose whichever one you want. But I think places like UK and Canada, USA, you don't have issues with Gmail or any other one. So the next one is academic CV. Please, you don't need your CV to just look like the one you normally use while looking for a job. Try to make your CV to be one that is in line with the academic field. To try this is also one of your arsenals during your application. One is that if you have any research experience, you put it there. If you have any relevant work experience, put it there. The relevant work experience I mean here is this. For instance, you are an engineering student or you are a science student, and then you worked as a banker. You worked as a bank as a cashier. You know that work experience is not relevant to your field. I don't think you should add it here. But if you worked as a research assistant with a professor or any doc in your school, even as an undergraduate, you can put it down. Your research experience starts from your undergraduate project. So you can say that you were a research assistant to social doctor or social professor in your department as an undergraduate research assistant. So I will send my CV as well to the group so that everything I used, I'm going to release everything today. So after this meeting, so that you also use, I'm not saying that my own is the standard, but at least it will help you. At least you can also fine tune your own to be better. But at least I've been using it and it has been helping me. It has also worked out for so many other persons as well that I sent it to. Okay. Then the next one is transcript and statement of result or certificate. If you have your transcript, very, very important, because as you're sending to professors, some professors would want to see your performance. As you're sending letters to them, they would want to see your performance when you were in school. And also, transcript also helps them to know the courses you took then, whether you took relevant courses. You understand? That is in line with what they are doing in their lab and their program as well. If not, they will also suggest that, okay, you have the qualifications I want. What will happen is that when you come over, you do what we call auditing. That is, you take those courses you would have taken For instance, you are in engineering, in civil engineering structure, for instance, you didn't take strength of materials or you didn't take theory of structure. When you come here, they will tell you you have to take those ones. Maybe from their undergraduate program, you go and take it. Or maybe in their master's level, you take it, even if you are coming for PhD. Here, there is flexibility of that selection of courses. So you can choose any one as long as it's a course that is relevant to your lab, what you'll be doing in your lab. So I believe your advisor will also be the one to tell you what to do and what not to. So that's for transcript. That's how it helps. Then for statement of result or certificate, most of the times when I was applying, I used my statement of results. I got my certificate this year. So that time they told me that it was not ready when I was applying to China. So I used statement of results. So if you have statement of result, fine. If you don't have statement of result, I'm sorry. If you have certificate, fine. If you don't have certificate, you can use statement of results. Then in most cases, you may be required to go to, what's it called? You may be required to uh, make photocopies and go to state or federal high court nearest to you and then get it certified or notarized. Or you can go to any chamber, any legal chamber that has notary public and then get it notarized. You can do that on your transcript. You can also do that on your statement of results, but not the original. In fact, they won't even do that on your original, but you have to go with your original. What they normally do is that when you get there, they will just use your original to confirm that this is your document, and then they will stamp it and you have the seal from the court that yes, once you use it to apply anywhere in the world, it signifies that yes, this is authentic or this is already certified to be true. That is what it means. The next one is international passport. When you're still reaching out to professors, you may not really need international passports. The reason is that they don't really need that at that moment. The point you need international passport is the point of application, that is applying to the school for admission. That's where they will ask you for international passport. However, some schools like African schools, like those in South Africa and some other African places like Ghana as well, you may even apply for admission with just national identity card. That is your national identity number. So you may not necessarily be required to present passport, but when you're applying to all these Western countries, you'll be asked to present your passport. So that's that. The next one, still on that session, is standardized test scores. You hear of IELTS, you hear of TOEFL, you hear of GRE, SAT, GMAT, and so many others. It depends. Make your research very well about the school and the program you're going for and get their requirements. Most schools in the US here don't necessarily request TOEFL or IELTS from Nigerians. Reason is that they know that Nigeria has English as the official language, and in Nigerians speak well because they've already had so many Nigerians, even as faculty members in many departments here. So that's another thing. GRE is mainly required for those of us in science and engineering. Very, very important, especially those in engineering, mathematics, computer science, and the rest of them. Most of the time, they require GRE score. However, due to this COVID-19 pandemic, since last year, many schools have waived GRE, or many programs, not schools now, many programs have waived GRE. For instance, in my school, Auburn University here, Biosystems waived GRE. But mechanical engineering is still requesting for GRE. Mathematics department is also requesting for GRE. You understand? I think food science and nutrition is also not requesting for GRE. So it depends. That's why I say you have to research about the school and the program you're going for, and then be sure that be sure of what they have as their requirement. Then before you go ahead to apply, it helps to save you money. It also helps to make your application faster because you no longer dwell on whether this will work or doesn't work. You just go straight. That's another thing. Then the next thing you need is statement of purpose, statement of intent, letter of intent, personal statement, motivation letter, research statement. It depends. Statement of purpose and motivation letter are the same thing. Statement of intent is the same thing as well. But personal statement is different. Personal statement, we also talk about this maybe next time. Personal statement is talking about is more of your personal story. Like I came from social a family background and this that how you suffer from primary school and how you developed interest in this. Maybe because your father is a farmer, you decided to go into crop science or animal science because you really love this and that. Or maybe something happened in your early life and then because of that you picked interest in that. Someone will tell you that maybe the parents had issues of land or whatever. That's why he or she went into law. So it depends. That one is your personal story. That's why it's personal statement. But it's different from statement of purpose. Statement of purpose, you talk about yourself, but more of your career and what you have in mind to do ahead. We'll still discuss this maybe in our next cafe. The next is 2 or 3 recommendation letters from different lecturers that have taught you. Please. This is also, in fact, if you have younger one in school, advise them. Most of the time, I've received some kind of complaints from people like, my department, you can't easily get all the lecturers there are sadists. It's not true. I served as coach rep, and today I have more than 5 persons to write for me, either from civil engineering or from agric engineering or photo, both past HODs and the rest. It depends on how you present yourself before people. In fact, anybody that I ask, sir, please, I'm applying to social school. He said, no problem. Just let me know once you drop my distance so that I will check my email and work on it. So it depends. If you have younger one, please advise such person to please relate with the lecturers. I know some of our female friends, maybe our sisters here, would be like, the opinion like those lecturers are this or that. It's not actually like that. And if a lecturer ever tries to ask you out because you come for something like this, the person must be crazy. You understand? So I don't think it's a problem. It depends on how you present yourself. You can just be good to them, maybe just be on a normal level with them as friends, so that when you graduate, you can actually, because you will still come back to them for 1 or 2 things. Something like this is one. This recommendation letter. Someone can write very well about you. Someone can just scatter everything about your application. I've heard I've heard a story where was it this year, or last year? Someone said one of the recommenders wrote a condolence message for him. You understand? In one of our scholarship groups too. So something like that. It may be a mistake anyway from the man. Maybe he's just trying to present a condolence message to a friend whose dad or mom is gone like that, or something like that must have done. But then he mixed everything up. But if it is not mistake, then that means something must have gone wrong. So that's why your choice of recommenders is also another thing very important. Someone that can really write good things about you, that can really write that he has known you for so years and you are this, you are that, because those are the things that count in your application, not necessarily your grade. I will still discuss more about those things. Not necessarily your grade, though your grade is good. Grade is number one thing, followed by other things that follow, like your CV, your SOP, your recommendation letter. Those are the 3 things they use, and then your test score if it is required. Because you are not writing an exam, they are just using those things to assess you. This person is not someone they've known before. It's not where they will now say, okay, go and write. It's not like scholarship exam, undergraduate scholarship exam that you write, then you'll be given the award based on your score. Here they are awarding you based on those elements you use in applying. So please, whatever you are doing, you should just be very intentional and very committed to whichever one you're doing at a point. If you want to choose a recommender, make sure the person is someone that can really write good things about you. Yeah. Then, ways of getting scholarships abroad. One is non-scholarships like PTDF, MasterCard, Commonwealth Share Scholarship, Commonwealth Scholarship, Queen Elizabeth, Erasmus Mundus, ANSO, and so many others. So it depends. These ones are known and they are very competitive because it's already global. So people apply from different countries because they already know that this. Oh, sorry. Okay. So because they already know that this is the time this application normally starts. and this is the time it ends. So people normally have that. There is always surge in applications, and now it goes by survival of the fittest. How you present your own application matters a lot. Most of the time, they will go different stages from preliminary stage to the secondary, so that till they will now have the final selection. Then you have to make your own package your stuff very well in a way that it will be very convincing to the committee that you are the best candidate. Imagine a scholarship that is just maybe 50 slots or 100 slots or 200 slots for the whole world, and then people apply from different places. Only Nigeria records about 8,000. For instance, I think Commonwealth shared of last year recorded like 8,000 Nigerians or so. They finally picked just I think 50 Nigerians, and Nigeria happens, because of that selection, Nigeria happens to be the top among African countries. So those are the things you also have to consider. Out of 8,000 or 2,000, only 50 were considered. So that's another thing you have to consider. So that means your application package must be very cool. That's one thing. So the next thing is reaching out to professors. That's the one we call cold email. That is, you send a professor who doesn't know you before, just like the one I did. Well, my own was advertised position, but Igwe's own was reaching out to professors directly like that. So I can also combine the two as one. So for reaching out to professors, you just see this professor's profile and you think that what he's doing is in the area you are interested in. So what you just need to do is very simple. It's just very simple. It's just very simple. So what you just need to do is just to send a short email to the professor. Tell the person, very brief, very concise. Just tell the person that this is you are interested in his work and you want to join his lab. So he could consider you. This is your CV, and then this is your transcript. From your CV, you have already known whether you're a good fit for his lab or not. So from there, if he or she is accepting you, is accepting you immediately. So that's it. The next thing we may tell you is, okay, we may choose time and date for an interview. And then from the interview is also another step to know whether this person is a good fit for me or not. So that's another thing. Or when you check professor's profile, you also see that some professors who they don't normally advertise their positions on LinkedIn and other social media. What they do is that they have their research website where they will just place prospective students or prospective candidates. Social position or social positions are free and open for applications. So that's what I saw when I checked my own professor. So I just applied. That one is also very competitive because just like a scholarship. Like I finished my interview with her on Monday. I didn't even know that she was interviewing other students, other candidates throughout that week. So it was the following Monday that she sent me an email. That email I wrote on my story. That is the top of my story. So that was what he. Okay, someone wanted to present. Okay, so that's what he. That was when she told me that, okay, after reaching out and interviewing other candidates, that my CV and our interview happened to be the best. So she's now hiring me as the student. Even though when we had our interview, she told me that I should just apply, but then she was not really committed to accept me until after interviewing other candidates. You have to understand how it works, meaning that you're not the only person applying for that same position. That's why I say make your package very cool. Package your application documents, whatever element you're using, make it to be the best. Because the same thing you are fearing is the same thing another person is also fearing. But you just try to make yourself to be the best among them. You understand? Let's say that you've done your own part, just remaining the person to accept you. So that's another thing about reaching out to professors. Then, because you're also getting in touch with them the very first time, that is why your email has to be short. You don't need to write email that will have like 4 or 5 paragraphs, or even full page, or even like 2 pages. Because as concise as possible. so that the professor will even know more about you through your CV, and then the transcript you will attach, or sometimes just your CV. Okay, the next way of getting scholarship as well is applying applying for a program, and then um, hoping on the mercy of the admission committee and the department, whether they have funding or they don't have funding. You understand? I have some friends I always advise, please, this route works out sometimes, but
Auntie
not,
Chichi.
please turn off your mic.
Mama, Auntie Chichi.
Please turn off your mic, Miss Lillian, please. Okay, thank you. So this method or this step works most times well, but not really a sure way. The reason is this: I've told some of my friends, like, it doesn't matter the number of schools you apply to. The only thing that matters a lot is the one that gives you admission with funding. You may apply to 100 schools, none will fund your admission, and they will all give you admission. Getting admission abroad is very easy, especially when you are talking about UK and so many other countries, even US here. But the issue now is there funding? If there is no funding, my brother, it's very heavy. Well, very heavy. And not just that, you're also going to face another trouble when you'll be going to the embassy. When you visit US embassy, once your decision is not funded, the possibility of getting your visa denied is 80%, if not 90. You understand? Because they will be wondering, like, even if you like, tell them that your uncle is the owner of Nigeria, they will just be like, with the economic situation of Nigeria, for one to convert naira to dollar and to pay your fee is very tough. For instance, my own school fee here is 48,000 plus dollars. Now convert it to Nigerian naira, maybe using the normal bank rate. Don't even go by black market. And then you consider the amount if my people are to pay. You understand? If my people are to pay, that is just yearly on you. So you now see why when you get to the embassy, it's also another trap. They will just be like, the possibility of you just want to run out of Nigeria, not that anybody is funding this program. So that's just it. Most times people get their visa denied too. So I advise you use the first two. Reaching out to professors will be the easiest you can do. Then non-scholarship also works. You understand? So those are the two ways, and these are the three ways of getting scholarship. So applying to program is easy, but the issue is the admission that comes with it. Will there be funding? Who will take care of that? Because if you're coming to the US, getting to the embassy again is also another work. There's possibility of getting even when you know that your even if your uncle is or your dad is a politician, he has that money. They may just be like, with the way Nigerian economy is, it is not possible for such person to stay in Nigeria and be funding someone in the US. You understand? So that's it. But once your program is fully funded, they will even congratulate you there at the embassy, like, oh wow, you're able to get this fund, this amount of money. Wow, you must be a good student, something like that. So that's it. Okay, that's for that. Then the next, we are moving into things you need to consider. Things you need to consider. Your one is your school requirement. Second one is scholarship requirement. That is if you're going for those open scholarships. Then the next one is program requirement. When you check the school requirement is normally general. The others the way we have in Nigeria. For instance, you are looking for admission into undergraduate program. They'll just tell you 5 credit passes if you are in science and engineering, 5 credit passes in the core science subjects, and 5 credit passes in this one. Those ones are usually easy. Now, it's the department that will tell you, we need GRE, we need TOEFL, we need this, we need that. You understand? So when you check the school requirements, it may be general. Then go to the department and see their own requirements to know if you fit in. Because those are the things that gives you that confidence, like, yes, I'm now into this, and I believe I can get my application and my admission and funding. So that's that. So the next one is how to go. When you're looking for a school, browse the schools with your program in your preferred countries. I will always advise just try to be as flexible as possible. You can move to anywhere. When I applied to answer scholarship, I also applied to Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Ghana. I also applied to Stellenbosch University, South Africa. I applied to UK, Cranfield, and Netherlands. I was just checking everywhere. So if I have, as I had my dream country to be like Canada and US, I was just actually planning like, okay, or UK too. I was applying, thinking of, okay, if I get to Ghana, at least it will now be on record that at least I had my degree in Nigeria and also had again in another country, even though it's the same African country. But at least I've stepped out of Nigeria. So when you're applying from such country again, they will just believe, the belief of the committee is that this person must be good. At least you got the other scholarship. You are now moving to this place. You understand? So they know that every scholarship is always competitive. That's another thing. So you can move to any country first, and then from there, step to that place you want to go to. It will just be a stepping stone for you than staying in Nigeria, maybe doing your first degree, masters. And I have one guy that came here with us. He's already in the third year of his PhD. He dropped it in Nigeria and came over. So that's another thing. You see. So, but if you have a degree outside Nigeria, even if it is Cameroon, anywhere, it's very important because at least you have shown that you are competitive and you can actually do well in other amongst others. So that's another thing. So as you're searching, go to the school, open the school site, go to your department. From department, go to people. You will see some of them normally have that as people. Some websites or some schools will have it as faculty. Whichever one, it means these are our academic faculty. Also, some of those that have it as people normally include both the administrative staff and academic staff. You also see they will also have the different sessions there. Now, when you are checking the academic staff, don't go. Some schools normally have what we call teaching professors or teaching faculty. Those ones are not into research. Those are not the people you have to reach to. So the ones you go for are those ones that are research professors. Now, avoid those that are emeritus because they're already retired. They can no longer accept students. Mainly, people that are usually on lookout for maybe new candidates are usually assistant professors, associate professors, and in some cases, full professors. But full professors most times go for PhD students. But assistant professors go for both PhD, masters, and postdoc. Everybody, because the more students you supervise or the more research you carry on is the way your promotion comes. That's the way we have in Nigeria. So that's that. So search more for assistant and associate professors, and also full professors. Avoid emeritus; those ones are retired. Sometimes when you send them email, they may not really respond, and when they respond, they may just be like, "Sorry, I'm sorry, I've already retired, or I'll be retiring next year or so." You understand? I could remember one post that Akachuku said sometime on the group that one professor told a guy, "Get out!" Like the guy, get away. Yeah, he sent him an email, and then later on he sent a reminder. And then the prof, I also made a comment that day, like the prof is already old. I think he had his PhD in 1986 or so. So possibly he's no longer in research or whatever. So he would just be like, this guy doesn't really know the right persons to reach out to, and you are just disturbing me. So get away, something like that. Okay. So the next one is please be flexible in your search and choice of programs. For instance, the offer letter I got from Colorado State University from civil engineering. I did agriculture and bioresource engineering in Futu, and then majored in water resources, soil and water engineering, which means environmental. In China, I got environmental engineering. Here, for masters. Here now, I'm back to biosystems engineering, but now in hydrodynamics and coastal water quality modeling. So you can see the flexibility. I can also switch to civil. And even after my biosystems, I can also switch to civil and get a job there. That's where I have a good job in water resources engineering, or water and environmental engineering. So someone from biochemistry can actually switch to chemistry. Someone from chemistry can also switch to chemical engineering. Someone from chemical can switch to chemistry. It depends. from biotechnology to microbiology, it depends. Especially if you already you know your different options and that. So if you have a professor that does something that is in line with what you're doing in microbiology, you can even. I've seen someone that like a lady that is with us in Auburn here finished from what did Tope finished from microbiology in Nigeria and is now in civil engineering here. So you have to understand it at least because you know that microbiology and civil engineering is related when you're talking about water treatment, water quality and water treatment. You understand? All these coliforms and some other microbes and the rest. So she's now in civil engineering, environmental and water resources. So that's another thing too. Be flexible when searching. If you have any professor that is in another department, but what he's doing is in line with your own area of interest, email the person. So the next one is write to the professors, even if it is stated that you may not need to write. You understand? Most people will be like the department stated there that you don't even need to reach out to professors. Fine, but those are the professors. Those professors are the ones that will review your application document. Reach out to them. Let it be that the professor said, wow, you have a good background, you have a good qualification for my lab. However, you don't necessarily need to reach out to professor. So go ahead with your application. Because in your SOP, you may need to mention that prof, that this social prof is the research of this social prof is really interesting. You find it fascinating. It's in line with what you're doing. So it's also another way because when you submit application, it doesn't work the way it works in Nigeria. They will send all this. The admission committee will send your application package to all the professors. So and when they send it to the professors, what they do is this: the professors will go through each candidate to select the one they think that this one is the best fit for me. You understand? So that is why you need to reach out to them, even if it is not stated. You can write the name of that professor in your SOP that have been interested in social stuff. I've been working on social. My research has been in social area, and interestingly, Professor this is also working on this. Now, once the professor is reviewing candidate and sees that you already know that you know what he's doing, he normally has that signal like this student must be versatile. I think he's good. He's good at what he's doing, and he's in this area. I think he's a good fit. You understand? So, but when you just write your SOP, just plain like that, without mentioning somebody, you just be like, well, he will just review your own as the way he's reviewing other candidates. And if you're not lucky enough, he may not pick you because so many other persons may even be that smart enough to write about the professor. Yeah, you may even write that you read social work of social professor, and you find it. Once the man sees it, you just be like, this person must be a good researcher. You understand? He must be a motivated researcher. So that's another thing. Write to them, even if it is not stated. At least and also when you are applying too, you can also update the professor. Sir, I've submitted my application document. This is that. Because once you people start that conversation, you build that relationship. It starts that way. The next thing you will tell you, okay, fine, I will see your document or something like that. And then who knows? If he has funding, the next thing is to pick you because you people have already established that relationship, that communication while you are still in Nigeria. So it is nice you write to them and then allow them to make their choice. By the grace of God, you be the selected candidate. So the reasons here are just what I have just explained. One is acceptance and admission process. If you don't write to the professor, you may tender your application document, you may tender your application, and you'll be admitted but no funding. But because you've already attached yourself to a professor, if the professor has funding, even if the department does not have funding, he will select you because you people have already established that relationship earlier. You get? So the next one is I've always told people what they do is this. Like for my own, my professor has grants, but when I applied, the department already has enough funds. So it's the department that is funding my program. My professor is even the one that is very lucky now because she will no longer use the grant. What she told me again in the follow up email was, Nathaniel, well, you can see that the department is the one funding your district now, but what will happen is that if there is any fee that they are not covering, then I will take care of that. Okay, so So that's that. The next one is scholarship. Just as I've said, the essence of you getting all the information you need is one, to get admitted. The next one is to get funded. So that's the reason you need to write to professors. Even when it is stated you don't need to write. Some of them may have funding, but and because you've already reached out to them, they will select you as their candidate. And everywhere, just the way we have in Nigeria, if someone is already in the system and bring someone and say, this is my own candidate, they will consider that one first than you just applying directly. Nobody knows you, nobody speaks for you. So you just be at the mercy of, if we have enough funds, then we should accept this candidate. But if you don't have enough funding, the professor's candidate will be selected first before you. So that's it. And most of the time, that's when you hear people saying, I got admitted but no funding, which is terrible. You can't do anything. Okay, so that's that. The next one is writing to professors. I've stated it before. Be concise and straight to the point. Don't be there and be bragging about how you got first class, how you did this, how you did that. Good. It is nice to state some of those. Just be very concise, because those things are already on your CV. You don't need to repeat those things that are on your CV. So talk less about yourself and then talk more about the professor's research area, because that's the thing that is getting you fascinated, and that's the thing that is motivating you to write to him. So don't talk less about yourself, talk less about your achievement as well. Talk more about the professor. If you've done any work in line with that, you can just state it. You understand, to show that you already have a prior knowledge of what the professor does. But don't be there and boast a lot about yourself, like you graduated from this, the social teams. Don't talk much like that. It's already on your CV. Your CV will be attached to the letter you are sending to the professor. That's that. Then the next, I've said it again, avoid praising yourself too much unnecessarily. And the next one is reminder. If you send to a professor maybe and you spend like a week or two without having a response from the prof, you can send a reminder. Most times the reminder that changes the story. The professor may be busy the moment you send your letter. And then the reason for sending a reminder is that the professor keeps receiving emails from schools, other friends, colleagues, and all that. So obviously, you consider those ones that are more important. The one from his school, the one from his department, the one from his colleagues or his own graduate students. So you are a new person. You may just see your own and just trash it. So the reminder will just try to upload that in again. And then when he sees it the next day, the next thing will think, oh, let me just attend to this and then see what it talks about. So that's it. Then the next thing is, you can also, this one is just a smart idea that I used. When you're writing, United States has 3 time zones. You understand? Nigeria is 7 hours ahead of Auburn. Before it was 6 hours ahead. When I was applying, it was 6 hours ahead. It just switched this December. So you have to also consider where you're writing to. Know the right time the professor should be on seat and then write. Because when the professor is on seat, he attends to emails that come in more than maybe you are writing to him within the timeline that is maybe Nigeria, it is morning or evening time. Here it is night. You understand? So the prof, before you even get to the next morning, you must have gotten loads of emails. Just as I've said, he will attend to those ones that are of importance to him. You are just a new person. So try to target the time maybe between 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. here. Target those time and be sending your emails to the school. Check the state you are sending to, and then check the time zone, the time difference between the state and Nigeria. Because US here, different states have different time zones with Nigeria. You understand? Some places will have CST, some states will have Pacific, so and the rest. So that's that. Then the next one is, okay, I've stated everything here. So that's for writing to professors. Now, advertised position like my own, as I told you, very competitive, just the way we'll have the open scholarship, because the person makes it open. For instance, those ones will normally drop on the group. Mind you, before you got to this group, you must have reached other 10 different groups. Many people must have seen it on LinkedIn. You get? Many people must have seen it on Twitter. So you understand that you are not the only person who has seen this. So how do you make your application document to be the best? That's another thing. That's why your CV has to be very good. You don't just be like the CV I've been using, CV you used to apply for job in Lekki or Abuja, you use it to apply for this. No. Well, it may work if you are going for lecturing job. It may work anyway. So you have to try as much as possible to um, make it look like what you're looking for, so that it will actually be in line. That's the most important thing. The next one is often involve. It's often it this one often involves interview in the selection process. Just as I have told you, I had an interview with my own. Some of them may not even interview you, but it depends. Most times, open positions, advertised positions are usually involving interviews. So you have to get prepared about that too. Your interview is also, and that means the professor wants to see you. Yeah, you can dress well, like dress corporate, because it will be video conference. But the thing is, speak well as well, because the prof will be taking everything. Just you will just display your CV like this screen I'm sharing now. I'm asking you line by line, session by session. Like that was what he did. She did on my own. Oh, I see. That time I already had like 10 publications at the 8th. So you were like, wow. So when did you start writing? From your undergraduate? So I said yes. So from there, you understand? She wanted to really know whether I did it, or maybe people were just adding me in their work. You know. So it's just another thing you have to do. Make sure you can defend whatever you have on your CV. So I had to tell her, okay, how did you people get your results? How did you do it? I had to tell her everything. If I had maybe in any way stuttered, we'd have be like, this guy, he's like, what he was doing is whenever a friend is writing, just add his name. So, but because I was part of it, I tried to explain everything. So that's another thing. Because if you want to even lie, she can, if you see my CV, you see the DOI. So once you click on that DOI, it will take you to the internet, either Google Scholar or ResearchGate or Academia. I have accounts there. So once you open that, you see it online. So if you like, you can copy someone's work and then do like, okay, you are part of it. If the person clicks and doesn't see your name among the authors, it's a problem. You just be like, this guy is a fraudulent, is a fraudster. So just avoid. If you didn't do something, don't lie about it. But if it's something you did and you know you can defend it, add it, especially when it is one of the required skills. The next one, it involves cover letter. In this cover letter, I also send you the cover letters I've used. This is the one now. It's not like the other email you're writing that is always short. This one, you even make it as save it as a PDF. You understand? Add it together with your CV. I will even tell us the site, how you can merge all PDF documents that you have and send it as single file. So in this case, you try to unleash everything, every skill you have that is very relevant to that position. For instance, if they say ArcGIS is needed, Python is needed, MATLAB is needed, and you have like 2 out of the 3 skills, state those 2 that you've used this to work in social place, you've used this to work social place, you use this to work in social place. It's also another advantage, because when the prof sees something like that, like, oh, this person has knowledge of. I think the remaining skill he can actually learn it when he comes to the lab. Other students will be willing to teach him, or even he may even take a course on it. So that's that. That's that. State every skill that you have that is relevant to that position. Yeah. The next one, unleash all your arsenals. The arsenals I mean here is relevant past, present projects you are doing. Maybe the one you're currently doing, what you've done in the past. For instance, if you're a computer science student, you are coming for this, and you've been able to manage a website for an organization, you may try to state it. I'm the one that develops social website. I've developed a website for companies. You can mention them. Then, and everything you have to do in your writing here, be specific. Most times, mention the names. It helps a lot. Be specific and quantify everything you do too. It's possible. Give that statistics. I've been able to train social person. I've been able to do this. I've been able to do this. State those things, because it shows that yes, this person knows what he is doing. Okay. The next one is review your letter before applying. Please, before you send out any application letter, whether for admission or to a professor, send it to at least one person to review. That's why I say you have to make yourself the best candidate. You wouldn't want to be like, I would have been selected if not this mistake. your grammar can even ruin everything. Your grammar may even ruin everything. So try to share with friends, and someone will even tell you, okay, instead of using is here, why not use and, or why not use are? So something like that. There's so many things you may not really know. You may have it in mind that that's what you wanted to type, but so many things that run through your brain too will just, you may skip your memory that you just type something else, or you may even jump that. So try to send it to someone else to have a different view of what you've written, because the person's view will just be like the committee members that will also review your admission document. So the next is admission process. Communication. Give progress report to your potential supervisor as you progress. Tell your supervisor, the person that have accepted you, yeah, I've done so in my application. I've reached the level of this. In some cases, they may even, your application process may require that you present account statement. You also reach out to your supervisor that I got to so stage and I was asked to provide account statement, but I don't have it. How do I? The professor will just be like, don't worry, I will meet the admission committee. Just go ahead and submit something like that. Because as you're giving him that information, you are carrying him along, so that when you drop your admission document, the only thing he's just after is whether your admission document passes paperwork. That paperwork means the review from the department level. After the review from department level, it will now go to school level. Once the department reviews and approves your admission, the next thing is it gets to school. Just like school requirements is always simpler, so they already know that for you to have passed the requirement of the department, the next thing is to just give you admission. So, but once you carry your supervisor along, he will still be part of the people that will review your document because he wants you. So as you carry him along, you already know that this is where your document is. Like for my own, when I applied, it was even my professor that was taking my name to the HOD, to the dean, to the this one. She was even emailing everything she was sending. She was sending it to me. Like, Nathaniel, your application process is now on paperwork. So after paperwork in the department, once it passes paperwork, which will be in 2 days or so, then the next thing is this thing. And when it got to the HOD, once immediately the HOD approved it, she also notified me. Uh, Congratulations, the HOD has approved your admission. From there, the next thing is for school to send me admission letter and my scholarship stuff. So that's that. It helps to notify the professor and also carry him or her along as you're applying, to give him that fresh memory that this is still my candidate. Okay. Do not be overconfident even after being accepted by a professor until you get your admission letter, bam, and also the offer letter stating that you'll be serving as a graduate research assistant, or you'll be serving as a graduate teaching assistant, or you've been awarded a scholarship, maybe from the dean, from your HOD, from government or whatever. Until then, that's the only time you are sure of your admission. If not, still put every effort. Anything you are doing, be very intentional about it until you get those things. Until you gain admission and scholarship. Sorry, this must be a mistake. Until you gain, just like I've explained. So until you gain that admission and scholarship, that's the only time you know what you've got. If not, you are still like someone who has not had anything at all. So that's all about the cafe. And if you have, this is now question and answer session. If you have any question, you may ask. You turn on your mic and then ask, or maybe raise your hand and then, so that we'll be taking it together. Thank
Yeah,
you.
good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good evening.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I really actually benefited a lot from it. However, I'm Eze Humphrey Chima. I have a question to ask. Please, regarding the letter we're going to send to our supervisors,
Okay.
please, how is it going to be structured? Like the write-up, which font size are we going to use, and how do we type them? That was one, because I don't just know if the style, the font, the writing style is also a criteria or a factor to assessing our letters. I don't just know. That was what I asked.
Okay. Thank you for your question. I will send everything I used. I will send it to the group. Everything I used. Then for font size, There is no particular font size, but just try to be consistent with whatever you're using. Mainly, the standard font size is usually between 10 and 12. So you can use 11, you can use 10.5, you can use what's it called, 12. Yeah, you can use any of the ones. Like myself,
Okay,
I normally use 12 or 11 most times. Yeah. But just be consistent with whichever one you're using. And maybe something
Okay,
like your
okay,
CV as well. Maybe the first heading that has your name may just be the one that has bold font. Like you also bold it and also use higher font size. Like what's it called? Maybe you may choose 16 or 18 depending on what you want. The rest may go by 12.
okay. Thank
okay,
you.
thank you.
Please, in
Sorry,
addition
Thank,
to what?
can
yeah,
I?
one more thing. Then you can use any font style like Arial, Times New Roman. I normally use Times New Roman. Sometimes I use Arial, so you can just use anyone.
Okay, in addition to that, please, I also have another question that's based on the CV.
Okay.
For fresh graduates, like people that just came out from school, most of the times their work experience can be scanty. So how do we go about that, like relating our CV to our academic CV? You
Okay.
understand?
Yeah.
Because I've been actually thinking about that. Actually, I'm a fresh graduate, and like most of the times the work experience that we have is not much because we are just opportune to have maybe a 1 year IT period, which is split into 3 months, 3 months, then 6 months. So as a fresh graduate now, based on what you said, our work as experience should be related to what we intend to apply. So if you have any work experience that's not related to maybe engineering, which I studied, how do I like make my CV outstanding, like the best of the best? So that's
Okay. Okay. Let
my
me let
problem.
me let me come in here again. I didn't say if it is not in engineering that you can't, that it is not relevant. Try to get it. If it is not entirely related, that's what I mean. Like you finish as an engineer, you now go into bank. Not that you are in their technical team. You understand? It's better you even say that you're in technical
Okay,
team of the bank than telling them that you served as a cashier. You can see that there is no relevance there. You understand?
okay,
You finish as a mechanical engineer. Now instead of joining the technical team of the bank, you now present yourself as a cashier. So instead, if you worked in that bank, I would rather think that I worked in the technical team. You understand?
okay,
Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, you choose that. You can also present the bank, but choose a team that really fits in. You understand? So the next one is, as a fresh graduate, I've told you so many other things. When I drop my CV, you see, you have to package your stuff very well, package yourself well. You did industrial training, right?
yes I did, yes I did.
Yeah, I don't know for other schools, but FUTU, for engineering students, you have that privilege of 3 times industrial training. That alone is waiting. If you are in other faculties, you have 2 times industrial training. When we were in school, we thought that FUTU was just that stressful, but when you come up to this competitive ground, you now understand that really that thing really helped. It's very helpful. So that's it. So you can mention those ones one. The next one you do is you would also want to maybe state that you served as undergraduate research assistant to the person that supervised your undergraduate project. Do you get it
Okay,
now? Good.
yeah,
The next one, when it comes to publication or research experience, yeah, you can talk about that you served as a undergraduate research
okay,
assistant to the social doctor, associate professor. You understand? Then you can also say that your under publication, you can say that this is your thesis. Thesis, you give your title. The project worked on this. You now pick just abstract of that your work. The abstract is usually a summary of your work, what you were able to achieve. Then extract it
okay,
and put as part of your CV. You understand? And then say it was supervised by so doctor or
okay,
professor. Yeah. At least you can see that you are already making your CV rich little by little. That's it. Most of the times you don't really understand what those things mean, but just to get the information on how to package yourself. That's it. I hope I've answered your question.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
that
you,
means
Mr.
even though
Nas.
you have a work that is not published, even though you have a work that is not published. Like I'm also a graduate of photo. Like
Okay.
during our final year now, we are opportune to undertake a project topic, and after which we defended the project. However, in most cases, some of our projects we are not published. So I don't just know if I still reference it back without being published. Does it have any effect on it? Like, am I still safe? I don't just
Sorry,
know.
do you mean your project or the ones you selected that was not used?
No, the one I worked on, the one I worked on, because
Yes, yes, of
most
course. That's
some
what I
people.
said. That's what I said. That your undergraduate project work, it has already been published in the department now. That is why you
Okay,
that is why you have it as a hard copy. Just that it's not online. You understand? Now, as you
okay,
apply now, you can now try to fine tune it to just maybe 10 pages or 20 pages, and then try to find a journal to send it out for publishing. So that's another thing. But at least you can state it that it is already something you worked on. Do you get that? Yeah.
okay. Thank
Yeah.
you very
But
much. I've
yeah.
answered my
So
question.
yeah. Like
Okay,
my,
I
okay.
really,
my own, sorry, like my own
Thank you,
undergrad,
Mr. Okay.
yeah, like my own undergraduate work has not been published, but I also have other publication. I've sent it to journals. You understand? So it's still under review. So I stated it there. It's under review. If you've not sent out, you can just write that you worked on social thing. So you don't even need to say whether it is published or not. Just write you worked on social thing, and this is the result you were able to achieve. Yeah, go on, brother.
Okay. Thank you very much for this initiative, Mr.
Yeah.
I was listening, but my network is kind of frustrating. So please, I need to do something. So, how about getting what about getting master's admission in a field that is quite different from what you studied in university, like what you studied as undergraduate, like someone doing someone that did engineering and try to get master's admission in cyber security. So how possible could that be?
Okay. Yeah, it's very possible. But the possibility is this: you must have had some other basic skills that present you as a candidate for that. For instance, you want to go into cybersecurity, you must have been doing all this data science stuff, must have been doing all these other programs, like all these online courses from Coursera and so many other platforms that at least related to that one, showing
Okay.
that you've been developing interest in this. You understand? Like life here is very flexible. You can move from engineering and do your MBA. You can move from this one and anywhere. So it's not necessarily
Okay.
that this is
Let's
where you.
assume that you have like you'll be taking online courses, but it's not certified. Like they didn't give you certificates like certified certificate of attendance or something like that in online trainings. Can you
Okay.
still put it up when applying
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
master?
Yeah. It's part of your skills. It's part of the skills. It's not necessarily the certificate, but you have
So
the
it's
skills.
not certified.
Yeah. You
Like
can. Yeah.
you
You
don't
can
have
work.
certificate in
Yeah. Since you can work proficiently using those programs, so even if there is no certificate and you are good to go, nothing is bad.
okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. I have Duike, Mr. Covenant, and Mr. Ben. You
Yeah.
wanted to say something? Okay. Okay.
Okay. Can I ask my question now?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Okay. Before joining this webinar, actually, I've been applying to professors, but lately I developed this fear, and the fear is CGPA, because from the information I got from someone that the professor also puts that into consideration. So how do I manage, or how do I quench this fear that started rising because of low CGPA applying to a professor?
Now let me tell you. That's what I said before. Information is just everything. If you have first class and you are unable to package yourself well, someone that has two to get what you're looking for. There are so many. There are so many guys I've met sef are not really first class here. Yeah. 2-1, 2-2, 2-1, 2-2. That's it. Now, the only thing is, if you know that you have lower GP, even if your 2-1 is, let me say, around 3.5, 3.6. It's not that strong, over 5.0, depending on the grade score. There are so many other things you can use to complement your whatever. You understand? Anything
So
you
many
think,
other things like
for instance, your research experience. If you've had public, please, where is the noise? Engineer, engineer, should we get? Okay, all right, sorry about that. Yeah,
Yes,
that
I'm here.
was
I'm
a noise from your side. Okay, yeah. So what you can do is this. One,
okay.
for instance, you're applying for all these known scholarships. Try to understand some of those scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, they prefer people that have leadership experience. They prefer people that have volunteer experience, or maybe people that already have all
Yeah.
these volunteer group on their.
hello, sorry. I got cut off. You say, oh, what I can do is what?
Now, can you pause your list? I
Chibike,
was
can
saying
you
that
pause?
there was noise from your side.
Chibike, can
Network
you
is
pause
very
your
bad.
thing so
There was
that
noise
he
from your
can
side.
when he's
Just
done?
mute your mic when you want to talk. You can turn it on. Yeah. Yeah.
Mute
So
that.
what you just need to do is understand the requirement of that scholarship. That is, I'm talking of if you're applying to known scholarships now. Now, you know that most scholarships like PTDF, MasterCard.
No, sorry to cut you short. It's not really known scholarship. It's for
Oh,
funding,
you want to
research
reach out to
funding.
professors, right? Good. If you want
Yes,
to reach out,
yes. I've been reaching out
good. If you
though.
are reaching out to professors, have this in mind. Good work experience, give enough skills,
Okay.
like skills that are very relevant to that thing you're looking for. That's what the professors are after. Then the next thing is your research experience. You understand? Professors don't want someone that maybe that will just come and maybe he has no research, prior research knowledge or something like that. That someone that they will start teaching from scratch again. They know that, like we here, we know that there's many things we still need to learn. But at least in terms of writing and all that, I don't think she may necessarily need to even teach me how to write again because I've already written some papers. You understand? So, and when it gets to
Yeah.
when it gets to some of the things I've already known, she may not really need to teach me again. If there is anyone I need to learn, it will not be advanced level of it. You understand? So, if you know that your GPA is not that strong here, use other things to make yourself qualified. You understand? When did you graduate? Sorry to.
2018.
Okay, 2018. Um, uh,
Yes.
have you had any publication at all?
No, just my project, which
Okay,
I've not published
there's
in
not.
any journal. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, if it is so, you can also reach out to your supervisor, the one that supervises you then in school, to see if it is
Okay.
something that is
Yeah.
publishable. You can actually talk to him or her. Now you would want that work to be published. Then the next thing is okay. Oh yeah, try to work on it and send to me. Let me what's it called? Let me review and then let you know where we can submit it to. Something
Okay.
like that. Yeah. Then try to also
Yeah.
learn skills. For instance, you can finish computer science and stay maybe 2 3 years without learning other things. You understand? Maybe programming and other things. You know, the professors they are looking at someone that is active in this area, even though you graduated that long ago, but you can do something that is relevant in this field. So that's another thing. Have you seen why I said
Okay.
it's
Like
not,
for
it's
instance,
not
since I left. Okay.
okay? Go on.
Okay. For instance, since I left school, I've been working majorly as a content writer. I study statistics, but I've been working majorly as a content writer, research writer, academic writer, um, script write, anything writing per se. That's what I've been doing. But I think 2020 I started doing data analysis for our company. So that's like the only work experience I have in my field per se. Others I've been developing skills, but the skills are not related.
Good. With these ones you just stated now, they are very nice since you're a statistician. So I think is good. You understand? So
Okay.
from there you can also like for instance, someone that graduated with first class in your state and has not got any of these skills, that is relevant in that your field.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised that if you apply for the same position with that person, they may consider you first. So
Okay.
that is, yeah, that is how it
So it's all
works.
about how I sell myself.
Yeah, so it's just that. Most
So
of the
how do I
times,
sell myself now when sorry, I'm cutting you short. How do I sell
no.
myself when you said you should not, when you're applying to professor, don't talk more about yourself? Let it be more about the professor. So how do I sell myself aside my CV that is just going to state all those things briefly? I wouldn't have the chance to elaborate how much I've done in that aspect.
For instance, I want to refer, you have a work, right? Or you have something that you've already posted on a site. Before I will talk about you, and as I'm talking about you in that letter, I will also be like, I've worked in social area as well. I don't know whether you understand. I worked in social area too.
Okay.
Yeah, I developed interest in social area because of this or that. So I would like to continue under your supervision because of your invaluable contribution in this field. You know, something like that. The next thing the prof would want
Yeah.
to know is if this person is if this person has this knowledge, this is a good fit in my lab. Okay. The next level now is let's have an interview. That's where he will now be asking you those questions. You said you worked on this. What were you using? You understand? So
Yeah.
what programming language were you using to work on this? So if it is different, you will just be like, you can even use this one as well too. So sometimes even the professors don't really know some of those things. That's why what professors do here is they have the money, but they want someone that will come and work on it. You understand? Some professors don't necessarily need to know the thing you are coming to do, like your project. You may bring it here, except the
Mm.
person already has the project he's working on. Sometimes they may not really have that
Yeah.
knowledge of that. They just tell you, oh, come. When you bring that in, they will just be okay, fine. That's how their lab team increases because they believe that once you have that skill, before you know it, to attract another student that has that same skill, before you know it, his lab will be more diversified. You understand? Someone can work on this, someone
Yes.
can also work on this, someone can also work on this. And who knows, if there is any opportunity in the school, you may even get accepted as well as a postdoc or whatever. Yeah, I'll drop my own letter, and I think it will also help.
Samples, yes, please. So that it can give us direction.
Yeah, I'll drop for someone that just has undergraduate degree and those that already have masters. Because I started using a different this thing when I got my this thing last year from China. So it depends. Yeah. So the next person, have I
Thank
answered
you.
your question? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Basically, I think I understood that it's just about selling yourself.
Yeah. Please
If
don't.
you
If you know you have 2.2 or 2.1, that is not that strong. You must not have 4 point something over 5 to know that you are now good for scholarship. Please, if you nobody should discourage you. People get it. The only thing is that
okay.
you just need to work harder, like put more things in place than someone that has a better GP.
Yeah,
But that person had already got the point for that one. So now you're trying to get points in other
yeah.
areas that will cover that one that you didn't get in your grade. That's just the difference.
Mm.
That's just the difference.
All
So if you
right.
have
Thank you.
any way you can acquire any relevant skills, learn it. Yeah.
All right. Also, please, I was not able to join the WhatsApp group. Is there anywhere you can?
Yeah, I will do that.
I tried, but my network was poor then. Okay.
Okay, just send me your later, just send me private test chat. Yeah. I'll add you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Another person.
Not.
Okay, good
Good, yeah.
evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Mama,
Okay.
I want to say a very big thank you for this presentation. Though I joined late, but I've been learning a lot. So please, I have some areas I want you to help me and explain. The CV part. You talked about um selling yourself in the CV part. So I don't really, I have a CV, but I'm not sure it's as professional as required. You understand? I'm not sure it's as professional as required. I have a lot of voluntary works that I did while I was an undergraduate, but I never knew all those things were this important. You understand? I was just doing it out of the passion and out of the happiness I got from them. But since I've been listening to you, I have understood that it's very important. So I don't know, please, how do I match all these things to my CV? Just I have pictures and videos. I don't have I don't have certificates for them. I don't have those kind of things. You understand? So I need you to help me with this CV. Can you help me with a sample? Can you help us with a sample
Yeah,
to
I'll drop
know how
mine.
to?
I'll drop mine.
Okay,
Yeah, then for the
okay. Thank you
certifications,
very much.
yeah, you don't necessarily need certificate for those things. The ones you have certificate, fine. The ones you don't have, fine. It's just showing that you had experience in social areas. Okay. So you may not really have certificate for
Okay,
all of them. And then the next one is you might see you see where I wrote Cgpa, this, this. For those of us that have high Cgpa, especially for class students and the rest. So but if you know that your Cgpa is low, maybe 3.5 or even 3.4, you are in 2.2 but 3 point something, please, you may just forget about it. Just end as your social this or specialization. Just stop there. You don't need to put your CGPA. Okay. But if you
okay,
have high distance, also another way of saying so that when the person have that view, because your education is the first thing he wants to see. You understand? So
okay,
once you have that, oh, this person has this, oh, nice student. The next thing will now be like, okay, let me see the skills, his experience, just like that. You see the arrangements on my own. What you need to put first, and then the next one, the next one, the next one, according to the prior attention they give to each. In fact, you see that your award and all those things will come as last because those
okay.
ones are just your past glory, so nobody is interested in them. Yeah,
Okay, please concerning this
yeah.
transcript now. For those of us that have not gotten transcript, for me, I have statement of results. I don't have transcript. So how do I go about it? Because I want to start applying now. So I don't
Okay,
know how to go about this transcript.
okay. Do you have your result from year one to final year?
Not all, not all.
Now, some departments or some schools, what they do is they have transcripts at the department level that students can actually request for, and they will give them with
Okay,
HOD stamp. So try and see if your course advisor will help you with that, and just receive a stamp from your department. You are good to go. You can start applying with that one. That
okay,
is why those ones are called unofficial. But the essence is this, as I explained before, they just want to use it to check one, your performances in your courses. Two, whether you took the relevant courses, the prerequisite for this program you are coming for. Yeah, yeah. Those are the two
okay,
main things. Like one, your performance. Two is the courses you offered, whether they are actually relevant with what you are coming for. That's why some
okay.
professors
Thank
will
you very
just,
much.
yeah, some professors will see your transcript and be like, oh, you're a good student, but yeah, I don't think you're a good fit. You didn't the courses you offered is not really what we are doing here. You check another school. It's not a bad thing. Yeah. But the important thing
Okay,
is I've always told people if a professor tells you that I'm sorry you're not a good fit in my lab, it's better than not receiving a response at all at all. If you receive response, is what it is good, whether it is negative or positive, it's even good. At least your letter was able to gain a response. Because I know some of you when you start writing, you see that you may even write up to 2050, nobody will even give you a feedback. Yeah,
wow.
yeah,
Thank you very much, sir.
yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah. Good evening,
Good
dog.
evening.
Yeah, good evening.
What a wonderful, it's it's really enlightening. Well, I have a question, but before that, I just want to chip in something aside what you have said.
Okay.
When you are writing to a professor, at least I have a little experience in that particular field because I have gotten positive responses from professors up to 7. At least I could boast of. Now, initially, I was just writing like a generic letters to these professors. Please do your research. Know what the professor is working on and link it to yourself, your research interest. And when you are writing to the professor, just as Nat said, make it as brief as possible. If it's possible, just make 3 paragraphs. That's what I do. The first paragraph is just to tell the professor, maybe, how are you doing? This is so person writing you from so place and all that. If you have any very, very important thing about yourself, just put it there. And then just maybe 3-4 sentences max. You go back to the second paragraph. That is where you will tell the professor what you know about him or her. And then you relate it to your own research interest. Now, the third paragraph, what I do, I go straight to the point and tell them what I want from them. Because you can't just write to a professor without telling them specifically what you want from them. So this is just my own way of doing it. And I got a lot of, positive responses from my letters. Now, another thing is this: getting positive responses from professors does not guarantee admission. And it doesn't also guarantee that you'll get scholarship or funding. Some of these professors will write you back and tell you, oh, you are fit for what I want, but I don't have funding. So in such cases, I don't even bother myself going to, apply to the university, knowing that they don't have funding for me. So that is it for the professors, and then trying to, get them to support you. And if any professor actually accepts to supervise you, get a letter of support from them. Aside just mentioning their name in your SOP, get a letter of support. And it's also dependent on where you are applying to. If it's a place like Canada or Australia, get a letter of support. Sometimes some schools in Australia have this form which the professors will fill, and they send it back to you, and then you attach it to your application. But for schools in Canada, they will not really give you any form, but they will rather ask you whether you have a professor who has maybe research interests such as yours. If you say yes, just other documents where they say other relevant documents or other relevant comments, just put down that letter of support from your professor. It helps a lot to boost your admission levels. I don't know how to put it. Now, to my question, Nat, I really have an issue. Right now, I have a professor who has actually accepted to supervise me. But I already have admission with Harvard University. And it's also like a 50% scholarship. And I'm going for it because it's really a field I'm very much interested in. And I love it because it relates to leadership. It relates to my core course. But my problem now is, should I go ahead and brief this professor about it? Or I should just, keep it to myself, get admission first, get in first before I start telling her, because it's definitely going to affect my studies with this particular school I'm applying to. Because the Harvard thing is online, partly online and partly physical. The first part of it is online and the latter part of it is physical. So I will be needing like leave of absence from the school, and definitely the supervisor is the one who will, approve it before you take it to your department and then to your school. So how do you think I should go about it?
Okay, for me, I think you will just wait till you get your admission later.
Right?
Yeah, because if you just tell her now, she may just swiftly just tell you, okay, well, good luck. How these people do, just tell you good luck, and then she will start looking for other students.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you get your admission, now she may just come up with, okay, so what do you think? You people can even have a conference call and then discuss it. Okay, well, I will resume with you, and then maybe when it gets to the physical part, I may just spend like 3 months, just a semester. If you grant me that, I will just go to Harvard and finish up, and then come back to your lab.
Okay.
Yeah. But don't let her know now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. If her own works out, fine. Then you can explain to her. You see, if it works out well, then that means you even switch for the two programs.
I really want to, because that of Harvard is more important to me, even though it's not a PhD. It's not a PhD course, but it's really more important to me right
Okay,
now. Right now.
okay, but the one you got from the supervisor, the professor is a PhD.
Not at all. It's not even a PhD. I already have a master's, but she
Oh,
said I there are some courses which are lacking in my master's, which I'm supposed to do. So I will have
okay,
to take a first 1 year master of research before I proceed to PhD.
okay, master, okay, PhD through master is also nice.
Yes.
So just discuss with her and then see if she approves of that. That's when you are admitted. Then you can go ahead, since that one offers you opportunity to carry on with your PhD study.
Yes.
Yeah, and based on you have one semester online, the other semester this. During this, I think she may just release you for just a semester. Go and complete it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate your time.
No, no, thank you. Okay, another person has a question.
Hello, Nasma.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thank you
hello.
very much for this
Thank you very
position.
much. Is
yeah,
anybody
Mr.
talking?
Ben, I was calling you. Yeah, Mr. Ben. He has raised
O-
his hand several times. Yeah,
Okay, can I go on?
yeah,
Okay, thank you very much for the whole exposition. What I want to ask you, talked briefly on it before now, and is about publications. Because I am sensing from the whole discussion that if you have publications, it also helps in a way to maybe convince whichever supervisor you are talking to about uh, how active you've been as far as that research area is concerned. Now, for instance, I have my project works and seminar works, and these works are not actually published. You've talked about talking to the supervisor, maybe your project supervisor, then to have it published. But mine has lingered, like I graduated in 2018, and I don't know how it will sound if I still go back to her now and tell her that these publications, I want it to be done. So, is there a way that maybe there are freelance publications online where I can actually publish and have this work referenced to?
okay, okay,
That's what I want as fast as possible,
okay,
so I
okay,
can actually include it in my CV.
okay. The thing is this. Um, you may not necessarily need to tell your supervisor anymore. If you have a soft copy or you have a hard copy that you can work on, you download current papers of people online and try to fine tune your own. As I said, like 10 to 20 pages. You understand? And then make it something publishable, then send it. And the only thing you just need to add your, if you have anyone in your group, that is you people did it in your group, add those ones. Then since you are the one, the chief person, as the chief author, so your name appears as first, and then your supervisor's name can appear as last. So if you have other your colleagues, you add them following you, and then your supervisor comes as last because he's actually useful. Yeah. Since you said, because if your supervisor is actually interested, he would have called you people. Maybe I would want to publish this. Are you people ready? I would want you to work more on it, something about. Since he or she is indifferent about it, so you can just pick it up and then work by yourself. Yeah.
Mm.
Then for publications, well, it's not necessarily where you can publish today, tomorrow. If you That is what we call predatory journals. All those journals that you send your work today, the following week they will publish it. You pay. You just need to pay some money, maybe 15,000, 20,000, 25,000 naira. They don't even have review. When you read papers from such work, you see mistakes and all that. So it depends. I would rather say that you look for a reputable journal in your field and submit your work to. Myself, I've been publishing in reputable journals. Yeah. Severe, for those of us in science and engineering, Severe, Taylor and Francis, Springer, Wiley, so many of them. Yeah. So it depends on what you want. But for me, I will advise you go for reputable journals, because when you publish in predatory journals, some professors may just see it like you're just trying to appear online or something like that. It depends on you. But if you want it very fast, then look for predatory journals online and then pay to them. They will publish it. Sometimes they even offer certificates. So it depends, my brother. Yeah. Then the next thing too, like Dr. Anya said, I have to also pick it out again. I didn't even discuss it. Make sure you browse about that professor just the way you browse about the school. Maybe you can search him on Google Scholar or ResearchGate. Pick one of his works, search it online. If that's the one you like. For instance, you can see some publications, but you are interested in use of membrane technology and water treatment. You click on that one and look for recent papers. Don't go for instance, we are in 2021. Don't go for papers in 2010, 29, or 2015. Look for those
Yes.
recent, like 2020, 2021, 2019, 2018 maximum. Then select any of those papers, search it online, pick the abstract or maybe the conclusion, read about what they were able to achieve in that work. So that's why you now tell the prof, like, I read social paper of yours, you understand? In your conclusion, you stated that something like this worked out. But I believe then that is when you also bring your own idea. That is the thing that will also catch the professor's attention. For instance, you said that membrane technology is good that can work in this way. I think you've also used a nano tube, something like that. It can also be more efficient. When the professor sees something like that, he believes that you're already inclined in that area, like you have idea of what he's doing, and this person is really a smart student that has something to offer. That is one of the things that will even make him to pick you. I don't know whether you are getting it. So something
I
like that,
get it.
just once you discuss something like that, okay, in your conclusion, you say something like this does this. I also I've worked in social projects, and in our observation, we had something like this, which is similar or different from this. The professor will
Yeah.
also be like, oh, this person already has a knowledge of what I'm doing too. So I think I can bring in is a good fit for me. I don't know whether that is the kind of
I
thing. So when you're discussing about the professor, discuss some knowledge you have. That is the way you can also link in, just like Professor Dr. Anyanwu said. That's the way you link your own research area with what the professor is doing. And the professor will be like, this person is a good student. He is already aware of what I'm doing. Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So if you want to publish anywhere, you can also check online. There are so many, all these journals of this, international journal of that. You can, yeah.
Okay.
But just, yeah, if you are looking for standard journals, look for reputable journals too. I will even check the link and maybe I will share with us reputable
Okay.
journals you can send to you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. So any other person? Loretta?
Yeah, please, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, brother.
Yeah, my question is with regards to recommendation letters.
Okay.
Assuming you are applying for a PhD program, the one to recommend, does he need to be a professor or he's supposed to be a PhD holder in order to recommend?
Okay, I'm coming to that. Like, for instance, when I was applying, I only used one professor from my department. My undergraduate supervisor is a professor, but the issue is that he's an old man, so he's not really online and all that. So I have to use my former HOD. You understand? Even some of them, you may just need to also remind them. So I've started my application in social school. Like I told you that in our previous discussion, please, you may get an email from them, maybe from time. And the day you submit his name for recommendation, also let him know so that he can check his mail. So recommendation is not necessarily the person's position. The difference is this: in our African setting, we use more of British standard. Here, once you finish a PhD and a postdoc, and your postdoc, possibly if you get admitted as a faculty member in any university, you're already an assistant professor. You understand? Here. But in Nigeria, you still be maybe considered as lecturer too. That is junior lecturer or so. Then during your promotion, you now move to lecturer one as a senior lecturer. Before you get to professor or associate in Nigeria, it's always tough, or maybe Ghana, as the case may be. So in African setting is different. But here, once you finish postdoc and start working as a faculty member, you're already an assistant professor. So once the person has doctorate, is good. It's good to yeah. Even in some cases, you can use a junior lecturer that has just masters. They are not checking those things. You can even use the designation Dr. This, even if the person is still not a doctor. Because the only thing the person just need to do in your destiny is the letterhead department or maybe school letterhead, and then attest for you like you are a good student. This is that I've known this person. So then after you just write sincerely, Dr. This, or sincerely the name. You may not even need to write his title, so he's not considered. What they're just interested is whether the person has known you for long and he has taught you. Yeah. So that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm having issue because I'm a business student and most scholarships are for STEM students. I spoke to you one-on-one before on WhatsApp, so I'm still bothered about that, honestly. I'm
You
still
don't need
bothered
to.
about that.
You don't need to. Is that your question only? Is that the only question?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Now, there is one thing I also want us to know. Because STEM is the one that has more research. That
Okay.
is why you see it all over. Do your own homework by searching for these professors and the schools. There are so many schools that offer business education here, or business science, or business, I don't know what you call it, business admin also.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
or business information, something like that. And business
Okay.
information is very lucrative now because they work with IT. After medicine, after health sciences, the next people that enjoy very much now is those in IT. That's the next
Okay.
field, like just like oil money, the way we have it in Nigeria. So if you have something, you may not necessarily need to wait until you post something on the group, or maybe you see a advertised position on LinkedIn. Check the school. For instance, you want to come to let me say my school, Auburn University. Go to Auburn University website. Check if they offer business administration. If they offer business administration, you see their professors. Write to them. You understand?
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like I said, some people may have funding, but they don't advertise their own on all these social media like Twitter, all these things. So it's only when you check their own personal web page, that's the only time you will see that this person has funding and he will accept you. There are so many opportunities for everybody, just lack of information. Don't wait until even those ones we share on the group is very competitive. Except you is very competitive. So it's even better you do your background check on your own, such that if the professor has a position like that, he may just absorb you privately and simply, you may not really understand. That's the best advice I would give. Every field has opportunities, just your ability to locate them. Yeah. Hope I've answered your question, Ms. Loretta. Okay, next person. Is there another person? Another question? If there's no question, then you just wait. I will drop those documents I used on the group. I wish you all well, and I hope to also encourage us once again. Please, it is not an easy road, though. We should just have it in mind. It's not an easy stuff. You'll be just present yourself to sacrifice your time, your data, your so many things, your brain, because you have to search for professor and also read some of their papers. You don't necessarily need to read everything. I've told you what to read, conclusion and abstract mainly. That's where they will tell you what the paper talks about. So most times you may not get response. Sometimes you get. The response may be, oh, sorry, I don't have funding. Oh, you're a good fit for me, just as doctor said, but I don't have funding. It's also nice. Better to have a response than not getting at all. You understand? So that's just the stuff. Until one day it will click. Sometimes I've said it before. It may even be a reminder that will even change your story. So many people, I think Akachuku said it. It was a reminder that got him to Ben Gurion University. Joy, the same thing. Ben-Gurion, it was also through reminder. You understand? Kelechi, through reminder as well. I wish they are all here today, but it's fine. Wish they were here, but then whichever one, I'm just sharing their stories. But the truth is, get it. It may not necessarily work the way it work for you, the way it worked for someone else. You understand? There are so many routes you can follow to get here, but one is patience, persistence, and commitment. Yeah. Or you smile once you hit one. Thank you all and have a wonderful new year.
Thank you, very.
Yeah.
Thank you, Natalie, for your time. Thanks a lot.
This is great, boy.
Thank you very much, sir.
Oh my God.
Wow, thanks,
Yeah,
man. Thank you so much. It was
you're
a
kind of
productive
person.
time to be in any way.
Thank you very much.
Very, very.
This page. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. I'm really
Yeah.
grateful. I'm relieved now.
So could I also
Yeah, you're
ask that
welcome.
you share the PPT with us so we can follow it as well? Is that possible?
Yeah. I'll do that. Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Again, we are waiting for
I,
the samples of the lesson.
sure, I'll drop it. I'll drop it right away. I'll drop all of them right away.
Oh, cheers. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Then feel free to ask questions on the group. If there is anything you don't really understand, feel free. Most of the
Thank
time,
you
it's
very
only
much, sir. I'm really grateful.
you're welcome. It's only information that is limiting us from getting here. So that's just the truth. Some people that got
Okay,
one guy, yeah,
Next one.
yeah.
Sorry. Please, there's something I'm not really clear on. See,
Okay.
I just said I will go and check on, but let me just ask
Okay.
for clarity. You talked about
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
really enjoyed the lesson. I learned a lot.
So please, is it on LinkedIn? How do you really, what are the keywords you need to search? Is it on LinkedIn or do you go on Google? Where do you actually search for the school or for the professor that is maybe working on your field that you're interested in?
No, your Google. For instance, you may just be like, okay, first of all, you may just be like, okay, universities in social state in US. Like for instance, this Alabama state has about I think 45 schools or so. Auburn, University of Alabama, Troy University, so many other University of Auburn University, Montgomery, so many others. So when you check the states or maybe Georgia, any place you want, Washington, anywhere, you see the universities. You first of all take them one by one. You click on the university again, you see their department, whether they offer what you want, what you are doing. Then from there you move to the department. From the department you check their faculty members. Like.
Okay, that's if you're talking about US now. You also talked about versatility, that should be versatile. So what if I want to go to a country like Germany now where I don't really know any? Do I just search universities in Germany, then begin to check again one after the other?
Yeah, it's still the same way, yeah. Google will take you to them, yeah.
Okay, so Google is the best app to use then.
Exactly. So you can even write list of universities in the United States, list of universities in Ghana, list of universities in UK. You will see those things.
Okay, then from there you begin to search for professors. When you check the department, if they have it, then you begin to look for the professors there and then check their works to know if they are in line with what you're interested in.
Exactly. That's why I said you sacrifice a lot of your money. You'll be buying better. Yeah. But after that, yeah, it works out. Yeah. And, any more questions?
Please, sir, I would like you to show us the sample of reminder, how we remind the professors on the previous email that we sent to them.
Okay. But reminder is usually short, like, dear professor, don't worry, I will still try to see if I copy it because I didn't write those ones down. Just a simple statement like, dear Professor Dish, I still want to reiterate my interest in joining your lab because of your contributions. I look forward to, please review my documents. I look forward to hearing from you. So something like just simple stuff. Yeah. You don't need to write long again. From the reminder, you just check the older mail, the one that you used in sending that reminder. And then see it. Because your reminder will also go as a reply to the old email you sent. So you will still see the old email. And then from there, read. Yeah. So another question. Please feel free and don't accept everything they tell you. Scholarship is hard. Scholarship is hard. You can't get it. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can get it even with 2-2. Don't be discouraged. If you really want to, everybody knows the simplest way now you can get out of Nigeria or any other African country. I don't know, but for Nigeria, because I know we have Ghanaians here and others. The simplest way you can get out of Nigeria is through education, except your people are really doing well in business or politics. Maybe you are like the video, you know that you can actually travel anywhere easily. So, but apart from that, the simplest is your brain. Even if people are trying to discourage you, have the mind that you want to smile someday like others that are already outside. I never knew this. When I got to Auburn, yesterday we had party, and I was amazed to see so many people here, like Nigerians, Igbos, Yorubas, alike, everybody. And then the Igbos alone, in fact, I counted 3 more persons from my state with one professor. Said, and we're all jubilating yesterday together in his house, in one another professor's house from Enugu. So it depends. You may not really know that people are actually moving every day until you get to whichever school you are getting. It's not only peculiar to Auburn. The experience is just like that in other schools. You hear stories. Someone used to class, someone used to so many stories, and then you just be like, someone is telling you that with your 2-1 self, you can't still make it. So it depends. If you accept something like that to work for you, or if you don't, that means you have a lot you can gain. So don't be discouraged if you really want to go into this. Thank you very much. And I think that nobody has a question again. Maybe we'll just end, right? I'd already stopped recording. Yeah, so I wish us well, and feel free anytime to ask questions, please.
We can't be free again. Remember, you soon start your work.
Yeah, that is why it is nice you drop the stuff on the group.
Okay, yeah, true.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
please.
Once in a while, I'll be free again to talk as well.
All right, thank you so much for the time as always. Then please, was Kelechi able to have joined us back in again?
Kelechi, I doubt he was unable to join.
Okay.
Maybe he's in church. It's just that because of that, I had to go attend early morning mass. He has not replied my message, so that means he's still out of. Still offline. Yeah, this is 12:53. You are 7 hours ahead of us. Yeah. And same thing with Kansas State. For Nigeria, you are 7 hours ahead of us. So.
Ghana is 6:53.
Oh. Yeah, I think Nigeria is also 1 hour ahead of Ghana.
All right, you've done so lovely. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you, brother. Feel free. You can reach me privately. If I'm unable to answer, I drop it on the group. Anybody that is free can also answer.
Yeah. My own, just be very specific here.
Okay.
Food science and technology records. If you have any information, any opportunity, please, I would like to get it. Did you hear me?
You would like to get it, right?
Yes, I will be trying on my own, but I'm just being specific. Maybe this night you may see an opportunity that pops up anytime. I'm just being specific.
Okay.
Food science and technology, yes.
Food science and